All set, Commissioner. All set, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm now going to call the Wednesday, December 7th, 2022 meeting of the Norfolk County Commission to order. On Thursday, March 12, 2020, Governor Charles Baker issued an order suspending certain provisions of the Mass Open Meeting Law, Chapter 38, Section 20. That order was effective immediately and until it is rescinded or the state of emergency is terminated. On July 17th, 2020, by the action of the legislature, that order was extended until March 31st. So welcome, we are live and on Zoom. If you stand and join with me in saluting the flag. Today is Pearl Harbor Day. Keep in your thoughts folks who gave their life at Pearl Harbor on the beginning of World War II. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'll take the roll. Commissioner Collins. Present. Commissioner Stady. Commissioner Stady is joining us on Zoom today. We have a quorum. We're going to start our agenda.
If you want to get right to our DA, we could do that.
Number 6.
Yes, yes, to wait around for the minutes.
We have
and
no
all.
objection. We'll be happy to go right to our DA. He's got a busy schedule.
When does one stand around here?
You're going to sit right there, Michael. Item number 6. Norfolk County District Attorney Michael W. Morrissey is here to discuss substance abuse programs in partnership with county commissioners. Good afternoon,
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
DA Morrissey, and welcome. I'm going to ask John Cronin to give me a one-sentence explanation, and then we'll go to you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. The county has been gifted, or granted, I should say, $16,461.89 opioid award as a result of the national settlement. This is coming through the Johnson & Johnson opioid abatement payment election option. This is the second of 2 awards. The commissioners may recall a previous award of $4,111.93 was awarded through you to the town of Randolph back in August of 2022. The funds must be expended, solely to supplement, strengthen, rather than supplant resources for prevention, harm reduction, treatment, and recovery of opioid abuse.
Michael, I'm just going to recognize Commissioner Stady has joined us. We have a full quorum. Dick, we opened the meeting and went right to the DA.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Mr.
Okay.
DA, I'm sorry I missed you at the Canton event. I just came from there and I got one of those delicious candy bars, which I'm probably gonna have for lunch, but thank you.
So you stayed for lunch. I got there early, so.
No, I didn't have lunch. No, I didn't have lunch. I just
All right.
had a couple of things going, but I did want to acknowledge your attendance in Canton. They loved seeing you. It was great.
And Mr. Chairman, you had called me up and you had told me that you were getting some money from the award. Ironically, the district attorney's office is not on the list, although we do work closely with a lot of the community coalitions and spend a lot of time doing prevention and intervention activities. And when you asked me to come and talk to your counterparts and the commissioners and the executive director, I thought this would be an opportunity for us to try to put together a plan that may help us out. I know there's more money coming, John, I think, in
I believe there is.
the future settlements, but I gave you a list, and we'll have to get it to Mr. Stady, but it'll be in your mailbox, I'm sure. There's a list of 21 community coalitions that we actively work with. We meet once a month in the district attorney's office. Some are much more active than others. Some are just still getting up and running or have been revived, but they all do a pretty good job of getting the word out on prevention and intervention programs of how to get help and assistance. And I thought that I might be able to partner with you and take some of the drug forfeiture money and supplement the grant you have. And maybe we could put together a grant program to the various community coalitions. And we're having a meeting, our last meeting of the year, the calendar year is December 19th. And I know that there are people here that would come and speak. I would ask that they make a 5-minute presentation just to the members of the various coalitions that show up and tell them of the grant opportunity that we're partnering with. And asked them to put together a plan so that we could maybe give them each $1,000. And I think they do great work, and their money's tough to come by, but every life we save, that Narcan now is free. We used to use some of the money that we get from drug forfeiture to buy Narcan, but the state has stepped in, I think, as part of the settlement. And there's always plenty of room for a couple of dollars to help people to get the word out about how to be safe and how to keep their children safe. So I just ask that if that is of interest to you, that one or two members of the board of the executive director come, and we'll give you lunch on the 19th and make a brief presentation and talk to some of the coalitions and tell them what our plans are and see if there's an interest.
I think that's a great idea. I originally came to you because in discussions over the years, I was familiar with the Quincy person
Sure.
who was our drug coordinator, and I was familiar with a couple of others that I see on the sheet. So I realize you already have the structure in place, so to speak. Our first batch of money went to the Randolph Police. I know they used it. They called to thank us. You can always go back to director thing, but I thought it might be worth exploring. And that brings us to today, and I think it's something that I would be happy to be involved with this batch of money.
Yeah, we
And
have
if it continues to be successful, we'll continue it. If not,
maybe continuing education with some of the medical community and the
Right.
drugstores. We have an over-the-counter program where you can get Narcan now. We were one of the leaders in the country to make that available to people. We were buying Narcan for the schools and others. We do training sessions. So I think together that we can come up with some creative ideas to continue the good work that the coalitions are doing. They're on the front lines in many cases.
right,
They're educators, they're members of the local government, they are parents from families who have members struggling with addiction issues. And so it's usually a pretty good, well-rounded group of people. They know their community. Some communities have bigger problems than others, but anyone who doesn't recognize that there isn't a problem out there is sadly mistaken.
I took a quick glance at the state figures, which are, come from the Department of Public Health. It's pretty, number of opioid-related overdoses and deaths by county. Then we have fatalities by place of death, drug-related, and it lists every city and town in Norfolk County. It's a sad list to look at. The good news is it's driven by population like everything else, which is understandable. So when you look at Quincy, Weymouth, Norwood, and I guess Brookline would be fourth, they outshadow, luckily, the smaller towns. However, the totality of it is it's an issue in every city and town.
Yeah, I don't
So-
think there's anybody who hasn't had a couple at minimum.
Correct.
And some more than others, obviously.
Sure.
And we're trying to do a better job of reporting, so the person,
I mean, it runs from Quincy at 268, Weymouth at 272 to Dover at 1.
yeah,
But, it's an issue. And I know these people
it's,
that you brought together know it better than we do.
yeah, and a lot of them are family members who see addiction up close. And so they want to learn and they want to pass on their experience to other people so they can learn from it. But we do keep track of the numbers. The state police do respond to overdose deaths in the county. It's as an unattended death and make a determination of whether it's an accident or a homicide. And generally they can tell when they go there that if it's leaning towards a drug overdose, they will indicate a potential overdose, but they have to wait for the medical examiner to make a determination. Sometimes that takes 2-3 months until they get a tox screen back, but they just want to make sure that's what it is. So they work with the local police. And a lot of times when there's an overdose and someone is a save, a lot of the communities go out, we have like a Norfolk Cares package, and in that there's a list of help and assistance. So not just for the survivor, but for the family members or friends who may be, and we give them a whole list of resources as well as access to Narcan and other issues. So, we can expand upon some of those programs. We have a program so the person from Quincy who may overdose in Dedham, that Quincy may not carry it as a,
Right.
overdose, but we now have a reporting system that we pay for that is centralized for the county. And then we're also sharing that data with Plymouth and other counties. We're trying to grow that system. So there's a lot of things that are going on just to you make it data driven. You know, I know some communities, and you said essentially it's population driven.
Right.
Some of it is also location too. I mean, if you take a look at, like the plaza can be a magnet for a lot of activity, of different types of activity, but, Braintree has Weymouth, the bigger communities at the other end. All, have some challenges, Quincy being the largest, of course, and the largest community in the county, but the Mayor Coke and Laura Martin do a pretty good job getting the word out and trying to get people help and assistance and a lot of other opportunities. So I think this is a small way to continue the good work of the coalitions and let them to help educate the public that this is not going away. Our numbers are down a little, but the COVID has made it difficult for people to get help and assistance. There used to be a lot of group activities and things where people could get, meetings and counseling, but those opportunities kind of dried up. So it got increasingly harder for people to get the help they need.
Mhm.
Just had a friend call me last night whose son is back in rehab, and it's a lifelong battle for some people, and it's something that I can't tell you. We can try to tamp it down, but I don't think it's going away anytime soon.
I don't think it's going to either. Okay, commissioners, any comments? I mean, I'm committed us to go on the 19th, so if anyone wants to go on the 19th.
Well, Stady missed the mail, so he should be in line to get another one.
I did miss the meal. If I'll check my calendar and get back to you, but I just wanted to say it's great to have the DA working with us on obviously a very significant problem. And I know Canton has the CASA, Canton Alliance, which is very active. I'm sure Quincy has it. Other towns have it. So it's great to be doing one more thing to help out our local cities and towns, and of course, working with the expertise of the DA. So fully support it. I'll let you know. What do I let you know, Michael, or Chairman Shea? What do you want to know?
Well,
as far
let
as
John know,
attendance?
and then I'll call Michael and tell him,
Yeah,
you and John are going to be there, or you and John, or any combination there above, or Peter. if
Is
you
the
go-
meeting- Where's the meeting going to be held, Michael? At your office in Canton?
It's going to be the community room. I think what we anticipate is that the general who runs my outreach is retiring into the month, and the coalition wanted to have a luncheon for her, which of course I'm paying for.
Okay.
And so I figured that we have a little business meeting, go right into lunch, and put your guys on the end of the business meeting so you don't get stuck there for a while. Come over and pitch the program and what we like to do and see the reaction. I assume they'll all be on board for it, but I think we also want to hold their feet to the fire to get some ideas. Like, tell us what you want to do with the money, and we'll send you the money. But I think it's easier when you hold the money out to get an answer than chasing them after the fact. So
Yep.
Just
I'll
so
be
that
pleased. 19th looks good, Mr. Chairman. I'd be glad to go with you. I know we have to post a meeting with two members.
I think I'm
10
going
something, so
tomorrow, but
yeah, that's fine. That's great, Michael. Thank you.
All right,
any questions?
Yeah.
Any comments?
Any more of those candy bars? I'll take a few of those for the kids.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Commissioner Collins.
We're looking forward to a partnership with you in this.
Yeah, no, you guys, thank you for the call. I mean, obviously you recognize that we're all doing some good work, but there's a lot of work to be done.
Right.
So you have now obviously been given a role, and I appreciate the opportunity to work with you.
And we had no idea. When we got $1,900, we were happy, and it worked out with
No,
Randall.
there'll be money
Now,
coming in for
now
a
we're
while.
getting 14. I don't know if we're getting more, or,
There's another round coming, I think.
that's good. We'll have it, if this sets up good and works well,
Yeah.
we'll have the vehicle to get it to use.
So this is the best one I can think of as far as these they don't really, there's no real direct funding mechanism for them, so they kind of scrape by. And
Mhm.
this may give them a little more opportunity to, bring in a pro, hire a speaker, do a townwide program, or do some printing on,
Right.
a whole bunch of things that they can dream of. So, we'll tell them the sky's the limit, just give us a plan. And so we can put it in our files. So when we are asked and held accountable, what we do with the money, we tell them we gave it to the community coalitions, and these are the programs they ran.
Okay. Last
Okay.
call. Any other questions? We'll
Thanks
move
for-
to
thanks for the
stage 2,
invitation.
which will be the
All right.
19th.
Thank you.
Have a good holiday, and hopefully I'll see one or two of you. I know I'm gonna see Stady because
Thank you very much.
Nice to see you.
I want that meal.
I'm gonna be.
Candy bar for you,
I gotta ask the DA a very important question.
And they move it till tomorrow.
Nothing happened.
How much stuff shuts down at the school when it's rainy like this? Does the animal stuff happen in the barns?
Yeah.
So everything still happens?
Pretty much carry on, yeah. It
Okay.
takes a lot of weather for them not to go out and do all the stuff they were planning on doing. I mean, some things are dangerous if you're gonna go in a tree or something like that.
Right.
They have to be reasonable about it, but the stuff that's
Yeah.
ground-based, they never cancel because
Okay.
just
No, it's good.
their hats on.
It's gonna happen in the real world anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
John Cronin, Director.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I got that information on the COLA adjustments. We're all set. Thank you for that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Videos. Fall off the edges.
Sam, how do you like the job so far?
I'm learning constantly.
That's kind of cool.
Yes. It's
I know.
the
Thank you.
figuring out how to
Okay.
combine everything. It's gonna take a while, but the seeds are there.
Thank you very much. We're back on the record on a regularly scheduled meeting of December 7th, 2022. Item number 1 is done. Item number 2 is done. Item number 3, minutes of the open session meeting of November 23rd, 2022 for approval.
Hey, Dick, before we get into that, Dick, before we get into that, I just wanted to ask you, do we have your permission to sign, use a stamp to sign your name on the different votes?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect.
Permission granted. Yep.
Okay.
How we doing for the 23rd? Looked okay.
Yeah.
That's fine with me. You want to make the motion?
Sure. A motion to approve, Mr. Chairman, November 23rd meeting minutes, open session.
Second.
Motion made and second. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote.
Aye.
Number 4, minutes of the open session meeting of November 30th.
Motion to approve November 30th,
Second.
open session meeting. Minutes.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it
Aye.
is. Number 5, minutes of the executive session meeting of November 30th, 2022 for approval.
Right, with the stipulation, I'll move that we approve the meeting minutes of the executive session with the understanding they will not be released until such time that the matter is either taken care of or resolved. Is that
Second.
appropriate?
That's fine. Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
6 was the DA. We'll be joined with him on the 19th. Number 7, public comment. Each meeting, we have a session, posted public comment. If there's anyone out in Zoom land that has any public comment, we don't have anyone here today, but now's the time to speak up. Public comment. Okay, last call. No public comment. Number 8, old business. Director Cronin, do we have any old business?
No, sir.
Number 9, personnel matters for consideration. We have one, which is a medical leave application for approval for an employee. Name remains confidential. It's the only thing we have on personnel. I believe the blue paper is here.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
Okay,
Motion.
should I haven't had a chance to look at it, Peter. Is
It's
it
a-
just a routine vote or something like this?
It's a family medical leave approval, FMLA, for an employee. We don't want to.
We don't release the name of the employee.
Okay, okay. You're okay with it? I'm fine. Second,
Motion made and second on the family medical employee approval for an employee. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a- Number 10, Peter, payroll and expense warrants for approval.
yeah.
Dick, you want me to run with that?
Yeah, go ahead. I don't have it. Go ahead. It's all yours today.
All right, warrant list, 12/7/22. The first is item 23-23, payroll of the county in the amount of $142,139.11. So moved.
Second,
Motion made and seconded. All in favor? Aye, it is a
Aye.
vote. Next.
Okay, the second is 12/1/23 expense of the county in the amount of $250,239.53. So moved.
Second,
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
aye,
It is a vote. Next.
The next is 23-06 expense of the school in the amount of $109,033.34. So moved.
second,
Motion made and seconded. All in favor? Aye, it is a
Aye.
vote.
The next one is 12/5/23, the Wollaston Recreational Facility sales tax in the amount of $3,039.87. So moved.
second that,
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it is a
Aye.
vote. Next.
And the last one is 12/5/23, Wollaston Recreational Facility credit card payment in the amount of $11,070. So moved.
second,
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It is a vote. That concludes the payroll and expense warrants for this meeting. Report on the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, Director Cronin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You'll note under number 12, the commissioners don't have any ARPA awards this week. However, regarding the report on the ARPA program, this past week, Norfolk County participated in the monthly multi-county meeting, which included Plymouth, Barnstable, and Bristol, to discuss the status of our various grant programs. Two of the items of interest that came up, one was the Clifton Larson audit firm is beginning the new phase of monitoring of the grant recipients. It's been a year since you awarded your first grant to the town of Dover.
Wow.
So Dover and Wellesley will be the first communities that will receive field monitoring assessments on how they are performing with their grant funding. Second of all, I informed the group that sometime in January, we'll be likely releasing a revised revenue loss calculation. The commissioners may recall that earlier this year, as a result of the final rule implementation, the $10 million revenue loss benefit was distributed to each of the 28 cities and towns based on their 2019 population. There are several communities in Norfolk County that have already informed us they do not intend to use that benefit, while others are very, very anxious to get more. So we're going to recalculate the availability of these funds and redistribute that benefit to those communities that need it. And that information will be sent out to the communities sometime in January, or not shortly. That is all I have under ARPA.
wow.
Any questions of Director Cronin relative to ARPA?
Quick question, if I could, Mr.
Sure.
Chairman. On the opera, our coordinator, you mentioned, I think in a meeting or two ago, I thought you said he might start going and zeroing in on some of those towns that have not maybe come forward to date. And I just wondered if that has started yet, or if that's going to start first of the year. Just curious, that's all.
Mr. Galvin actually responded the following week. He had contacted each of the communities and gave us updates. Some of the information was known to us, but he did prod along two others. I can give you a more full report from those meeting minutes, but he did successfully contact them as instructed. But to that point, Commissioner Stady, at yesterday's meeting, Mr. Galvin informed the group that he was working first with the sheriff's office here in Norfolk County, as well as the county treasurer, to look further into a program that can benefit elderly programs in Norfolk County, as we've asked him to do. So he's busy working in that angle, and we'll have something to report very shortly.
Okay, thank you. All
Thank you.
set, Mr. Chairman.
Number 13, the hour of 1:30 is upon us. We have no bid openings today, so we'll go by 1:30. Number 14, related to 13, we have no contract awards today. Number 15, Massachusetts Department of Transportation Highway Division Right-of-Way Bureau requests the county commissioner to take a vote to authorize county commissioner chairman Joseph Pichet to sign the included Mass DOT attestation page. It's a plan in Wellesley dated 2022. It's an alteration. Project file number 609178, layout number 8881, parcels 20-1T to 20-4T inclusive, and temporary easements on 20-TE1 to 20-TE13 inclusive, along Worcester Street which is Route 9. This has been filed in our office, and Patrick Harrington is prepared today to present me with the papers to be signed. But if there's any discussion at all, any comments, now's the time to mention them. It's pretty
Pretty
straightforward.
routine, right? Yeah,
Getting all of them. I'm trying to keep up, and Patrick's on if you have any questions.
And Patrick recommended it to Dick.
Recommended to be
Yeah.
signed.
I have no problem. Well, just, I'm thinking about the vote. Joe basically read the whole vote, so I don't want to repeat that. Maybe just say, I would vote to authorize. I'll move, Mr. Chairman, with your permission, move to grant Chairman of the County Commissioners, Joseph Shea, the right to sign the included Mass DOT attested page as stated during the meeting and as read by the chair.
Second.
That good? Good enough?
Thank you. Number 16, report of the county.
Wait,
director.
we voted. We didn't
I'm
vote it, did
sorry.
we? No.
Motion made and seconded to authorize the chairman to sign the attestation for certain alterations on Worcester Street in the town of Wellesley. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Number 16, report of the county director.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A few brief items. For those employees that may be listening, please be advised that through the county commissioner's previous votes on the engineering and maintenance contracts, premium pay associated with the federal grant program ARPA, and through the collective bargaining agreement with the county will be going out today. I believe the individuals will be notified of that through their various departments. I just want to give the commissioners a brief update on the schedule ahead. Today before you was consideration of a cost of living allowance adjustment that will also be theoretically in play for the upcoming advisory board vote on December 21st. In addition, the advisory board agenda will include obviously consideration of any supplemental items that will be coming before you next Wednesday, as will any requested transfers and capital FY23 capital items. I know John Wallace has one for the schools. During the advisory board meeting, I'm also planning to have Mr. Buckley provide the advisory board members with a Ways and Means presentation of the new regional program that is we're trying to get off the blocks in FY23. And then finally, our new CIO, Sam Evans, will also be doing a presentation to the advisory board. So over the next week, the various players will be putting together the pieces. The supplemental transfer and capital items will be firmed up and presented to you for a vote on December 14th for the 21st meeting at the schools. That's all I have at this time.
Okay, so it's safe to say the next couple of meetings, we're gonna have any and all items that would have to be presented to the board on the 21st.
That's right.
You know,
All right, Mr. Chairman, in case, just if I may, just to
Sure.
clarify too, because sometimes things get lost in translation. I had requested that item of the non-union employees be put on the agenda for our Aggie board meeting next week as well. So we'll be dealing with that. I believe I requested an executive session part to council and go over some things, and then we will then obviously in public session, have a vote that'll be required. But that's on our item, John Cronus, you'll know that. So those numbers hopefully will be available through John Wallace in time for the advisory board meeting, which is I think the following week. Am I correct? That schedule?
the
That
14th,
That's
correct.
That is correct.
So that would be in time for the 21st, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
can I jump in here, Joe? Is that okay?
Go ahead,
All right, so,
Commissioner Paul.
so Dick, we were looking at the non-unions. And I touched base with this with Joe. There's a little break in the action here today, but.
Yep.
With the non-unions in the past, what we've always done is, the different unions get their money at different times depending on when their contracts resolve. But the past history that I know of is that the non-unions across the county all get the money all at once. And so this proposal under item 17 is a little different from that. And I'm not entirely comfortable with it. I think we're all in the same boat. All the non-unions are in the same boat, and that's always been that way. So I would suggest maybe we hold off on 17. And when all the union contracts are resolved, all the non-unions will jump in. We've actually held the non-union vote sometimes to later in the year, just to make sure that everyone was taken care of. And when the votes go in for the non-union amounts, it's always retroactive to July 1st at the beginning of the fiscal year. But that would be my suggestion today, that we kind of put this on hold for a little bit, because in the past, we've always had the union contracts addressed first.
Okay, my counter to that politely and respectfully, of course. The agricultural, I would think, would be resolved at the 14th. I can't really speak on the registry. That's the problem. So you're saying because the registry, we can't, how do I say this? That would be something we'd have to hold off until the first of the year for everybody?
We just never done it that way before.
When's the next
And,
meeting
and,
after the December
and we're not quite
meeting?
sure when the registry union is going to
Much?
wrap up their union contract. We just don't know.
I mean, okay, you know what? I'll throw another curve then. So through you, Mr. Chairman, of course,
Yes.
through you to John Cronin, you'd be the one putting this together. Is it possible that we could even vote this the day of our meeting, the 21st? How late could we do this, John, and then still have action at the advisory board? Could we do this, say it takes 2 weeks to get everybody on board? Could we then present something to the advisory board for
Yes.
Christmas, or would they have to wait?
Yes. The 21st, yes, that'd be the last date.
And bear in mind,
Okay.
commissioners,
Yeah.
that, you know, the advisory board does have special meetings on occasion, but the regularly scheduled meeting is December, and the next one's not March.
April.
April,
That's
I'm
right,
sorry,
that's
April.
right.
Not a long ways
April, I
away,
think
but
April.
if, you know. But I agree, we postpone it today and take another look and try to get as many people on the bus as we can. And if we can't, we'll have to go to April, that's all. But I don't want anyone to not understand the process. Goes through, comes to the departments, goes to us, and then goes to the advisory board. And everything in the middle of December is pointed towards the December 21st meeting of the advisory board. Department heads are
Okay.
asked if they have any wish list or whatever they want to, et cetera, and we take a look at it and then present it to them, so.
So you're feeling you'd
But I
rather,
think we have a couple of weeks.
you want
since
to table that? You want to table 2017? Table it, not take it up?
Yeah, table it for today.
Okay.
I
And
would say table
now I'm
it
being,
21st, because we're meeting before
Right.
the school board is on the 14th.
right,
All right.
Yeah.
So
That's
I
what I'm
don't want
saying.
to put it on there 3
because
times.
the school won't be done on the 14th. Hopefully it will be, hopefully, but
Right.
we wouldn't be able to bring action until the 21. So I'd say table action number 17 to December 21.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay,
That's a good motion.
all
Do
right.
we have a
I'll
second
make that a
on
motion.
All right, second.
Motion made and seconded to table item number 17, which is cost of living raises for non-union employees in the county till December 21st in an effort to get as many people on the bus as possible. Any other questions about that matter?
That makes sense.
Thank you.
Okay. Motion made. Do we vote?
Yeah,
Motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it's
Yeah.
unanimous.
Aye. Yep.
Calling for votes, saying why. Number 18, emergency items, topics that the chair did not reasonably anticipate. Do you have any direct?
I do not, sir. I'm good.
And I do not. Did you say that the school had something today, or is that?
Nope, nope,
Okay.
no,
Okay.
nope, they're good.
Motion to adjourn.
Wow.
Oh, one item if I
Hold it.
could. Just
Oh,
housekeeping,
motion to adjourn.
it has nothing to do with the agenda. I just want to get.
Housekeeping, go ahead.
The commissioners indicated a support for having a commissioners holiday party on December 21st, which would be 2 weeks from today. I just wanted to find out with respect to the timing, would you like to keep the 1 o'clock meeting time? Do you want to move 1 o'clock meeting time? You do have, as Commissioner Stady indicated, an advisory board that night up at the agricultural school. So many of you will be in and around the county that day. So I wanted to find out from you, what would be your preference in terms of meeting time and then / holiday.
So our option would be 10 a.m. or 2 p.m.
Yeah, if we stuck to the 11
One-
to 2 period when we had our holiday luncheon, that would be. that
I
would be-
think last year, Joe, we did it earlier. We had an earlier meeting and then we had a luncheon and then,
Whatever, I don't think we had it was the same day as the advisory board, but we're gonna be
Yeah,
here.
that's the thing.
It's a long day, but that's fine.
I'd say,
I like to have it earlier too, but you folks, I'm
I
retired.
prefer the morning if we could. If we could,
I'm sorry, what was that put it on for?
Um,
I can't hear.
the morning, I'm fine with the morning. I'd like
Okay.
that if we could.
What do you think, Peter? Is that okay?
okay, that's fine. Yeah.
So we'll post at 10.
All right, we're gonna post at 10 on the 21st meeting, and that'll give us more time too to discuss all these items.
Right. And
And-
John Cronin, if I could, can you give me the information on that 19th meeting again when it comes out? That's all, with DA Morrissey? If,
Yeah, I've got to get it to, yeah,
When
absolutely.
it comes
You got it.
out.
It's gonna be in his office in Canton, I know that.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. All right, Sounds
Okay,
good.
that's all for any other items.
We'll give a motion in a second to adjourn.
Okay,
move to adjourn at, let's see, what time, I have 1:42.
Second.
Hopefully that's right.
motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye,
This meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much. See.
Thank
full
you.
meeting Next week.